What's up, everybody? It is Monday. Happy Juneteenth to all. I hope you all have a great day. If you have the day off, I hope you have a nice, relaxing holiday. If you don't, I hope your work does not work you too hard, and I hope that you can get home and have some time to yourself to celebrate this day as well. I hope you guys all had a good time watching that video. I watched it earlier today. That was courtesy of someone that's part of this event, and I hope you guys get a chance to really learn something from them and hear from them today as well. We're going to be playing some Diablo 4 with the Order of Dylan. Watch the Armory and Bombkai. If you don't know who they are, I've included their links in the description. I believe you can just click on those ats now and it takes you up to the channel, which is really cool. So be sure to give them a shout out if you have not known them already. We're gonna have we have a little bit of time before that starts. Let me actually check to see here. We might just pop into the Discord for now, but we'll keep it muted and keep it hot. And I will see you guys in a second.
Yeah. Real quick, let's get the intros in. Bombkai, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do on Twitch and all that.
Well, hello. Of course, my name is Kai. I am a variety streamer, so I stream a lot of different games, mainly horror games. I really love horror games, mainly Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I recently started streaming. I haven't been streaming for a huge amount of time, but I'm happy that I'm finally given a chance to actually stream, and I'm happy that I'm given a chance to stream during Diablo IV Freedome Day. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. It's so good to meet you. Jackal, how about you?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I am the Jackal, pretty boy Jackal if you're nasty. But yeah, no, I am the host of the variety streaming channel, The Armory, where of course we feature and showcase the most dangerous weapons known to all the universes. And of course, we specialize in fighting games. A little known fact about me, I am actually a formerly sponsored player for fighting games. I've traveled the country, I've been to Evo, Combo Breaker, all that good stuff. I have medals. You can go to my Instagram if you want to see them. And yeah, again, I am just really happy to be participating here on Freedome Day as a freedom fighter myself. So yeah, looking to shoot some.
Let's do it. Yeah, and we got to talk more about your experiences. That sounds like an awesome journey you've been on, and I want to definitely hear about it a little bit later. And Malkuvius, you're no stranger actually to the order before, but tell people about you.
Yeah, so my name's Malkuvius. You can call me Mal. Been streaming for about 8 months now. You know, I started off playing Destiny. I'm a MMO head, TCG head. Anything that requires you to bang your head against a game for hours on end is right up my alley. So
Yeah.
I've dabbled in fighting games myself too, so you know we can get some sets in possibly. But for the most part, you know, I've been on the Diablo hype train for the past 5 years. So this is a great experience for me, you know, not to only play a game that I've been loving, but to play it here with you guys to celebrate this Monsters Day. And you know, that video was super inspiring. I'm glad I got to play it for my viewers to start off with.
Yeah, 100%. Because like a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know about today and what it means and why we're here today. So I'm glad, like, if at the very least today, we can educate somebody in chat as why today is important and why we're here to reflect and also move forward. Yeah, we've done our jobs, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep, I definitely agree.
I don't know about everybody else, but like I was just like, oh, this is it. This is the game I want to play for the next like year or two. And you're absolutely right. Like this is a game where like I am trying to get to 100 just so I can have a view of the whole experience, so I can talk about it with some level of authority when people ask or on YouTube or whatever. But I will say like this is a game that I intend to continue to sink my teeth into for months and years to come. And I'm 100% with you. Like play it at a pace that is right for you and enjoy it at the pace that you want to, because this is the kind of game that rewards that.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely, for sure.
It's honestly, the Diablo franchise has always had a weird niche in the gaming space as a type of game where the whole goal is to just kill things as fast as possible. And this is a weirder intro into the Diablo space due to the nature of the MMO light tag that it's been sitting on. the ability to do everything that you've done before, but do it with a group of people and have a evolving world. It just makes this game so much more involved and so much more interesting, I feel like, to the average consumer. And it's a game that 100% is going to respect your time, and regardless of what you're doing, you're still making progress. You don't have to listen to what everybody who's saying, like, hey, that dungeon down the street, you know, if you go in there 100 times, you're gonna get the most XP you've ever gotten in your life. Like, that's sure, okay, I could do that, or I could go the other way and get lost in a expanse of the map.
You know,
You know,
or I could do what I wanted.
exactly.
It is what you make of it, and so that's why the journey of this game is so cool. And there's so much, and we have so much to look forward to. Like we're going to be getting like a bunch of new stuff in like a month's time, like literally a month from now with the first season, and then they are going to be aggressive about it. Like they're going to be aggressive about giving us so much to do, and I'm here for it. Like, give me hashtag content, like all the time.
This is
another
such a
thing that
goat
got
of
me
a
into
game
it too. You said what kind of game?
It's such a goat of a game too. It's because the last one, Diablo 3, just wasn't. It was fun, but it just didn't hit.
We had problems.
Yeah, it definitely didn't hit. But like Diablo 4 came out, it's just like, damn. And it seems like they're actually caring about the opinions of its players, its player base.
Well, they're learning from how other games have come and gone and failed,
Yes.
right? And this game being sort of their, well, Diablo 3 did it to some extent, but this being a true like live service online multiplayer game in the vein of like a Destiny, like you have to listen to your player base. Like your player base is going to be the reason that your game continues to exist, because they're the people that are going to be buying the battle passes that keeps the production going. So it's really important. And if you guys missed it on, was it Friday, they did their first like post-launch like live stream and kind of talked about all these things, and they literally touched on like most of the issues that people have been talking about on Reddit, on Twitch, on YouTube, or whatever, and they're actively going and addressing those things. Like now, they're not letting months go by while an issue or a server issue or this issue is still going on. They are actively trying to resolve things. That's why it's important for you guys to voice your opinions on Reddit, on Twitter, on YouTube, all those places, so that they know that okay, this is an issue. We need to kind of look into this and see what's best for the player base. And that's what's super important.
Yeah, it was interesting, especially due to the fact that they highlighted at the very beginning that, you know, first off, we're not developers. This isn't a developer chat. We are community managers though, and we have been reading everything. We read that post that guy said that we didn't read everything. We did read everything, and they covered not just the issues that a lot of people were bringing up, but their design plans moving forward. And I feel like this has been one of the most open launches of a game that I personally have seen and taken a part of in a very long time. They've been very transparent.
Yeah,
very
clean.
transparent.
Not a lot of problems. Not a huge amount of problems.
No, the server stuff was expected, like having login issues that first day or two to be expected. Everybody and their mom's dog sitter was playing this game. Like I fully understand like having some login issues the first day or two, but in terms of like bugs and crashes, I've had a few here and there, but nothing game breaking. I haven't lost anything and all that, except for shout out to my hardcore players out there. With those issues, that's not my life though. So, but like it's been great, and again, I've appreciated their transparency and how aggressive they've been in getting things fixed. And yeah, as Wes said in chat, even the login issues were minimal. Like I wasn't like a painful. Oh, I couldn't play the game for an hour. My God, right? You know, I'm really enjoying the stealth as well. And it's funny because I've never really played. What's up, Tina? I've never really gotten into like rogue classes in the past. I've always been like melee thick boys. That's always been my jam. But since I've been playing a lot more like shooters in the last year or two, like on stream and stuff, it got me into wanting to play more of a quick run and gun style of character. And I'm having an absolute blast. But what when you guys are in like looking at classes and games, like what typically is your biggest reason for going with it?
For me, it's usually like scouts or rogues. I just like the stealth aspect, the agility. For some reason, that just attracts me to the class or character, whoever it is.
Sorcerer Supreme, all the way. I'm looking for the magic class. I don't want like your wizard though. I don't want a book. I don't want a spell book. I don't want to have to like keep track of what page I'm turned into in order to cast this
I gotta
spell.
read. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I want to cast my spells innately. You know, I'm one with my flames. You know, we talk to each other on Saturdays. You know,
Right.
it's the natural connection with the class for me.
Makes a lot of sense.
So I like to beat up on people. I like to beat on things. So yeah, definitely the barbarians, right? The tanks. That's usually what I tend to gravitate towards. Yeah, exactly. I also like the sentinel type of builds because like I very much am like I won't say like I try to cheat, but you know I like my hybrid builds. I like to be able to do a little bit of everything. And the druid, yeah, the druid in this game. Oh, the druid is like right up my alley.
Werebear is my spirit animal.
Yo, listen, yes, that exact move right there. That's my ultimate. I turn into a giant rare bear and I just go ham and I tear up everything in sight. And I love it. Then not to mention the nature powers, like the storm. Like I'm a huge storm. Like I just love looking at lightning storms. If I could just sit outside and watch thunderstorms without risking, you know, possible death, I would do it all the time. But you know, like that's just my bag, and honestly, like I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, for me, it's usually like what Dylan said, you know, the tanky melee types, you know, get up in the face, all that kind of stuff, or like a hybrid, you know, something like a paladin or a sentinel, something like that.
You gotta get a paladin in this game. I'm trying to tell you, man. I
Yeah,
wouldn't do
for
anything
sure.
else.
We know there's one coming.
We know.
Yeah, can't wait,
Should I
dude.
build
The
it
DLC in this game is gonna be ridiculous.
I wanna just
It's I think one of the reasons why this game is going to be really, really good longevity wise is, you know, Path of Exile has been out for a while. Path of Exile was made by people that wanted more Diablo 2, but Diablo 2 was a game that was built around you get as fast as you can, you get to the end game, and then you're spending your entire time making your builds that can one click a room. You know, this game is a lot more about managing your resources and a lot more about discovering the new places in the world and spending time in the world, not just going from one dungeon to the other to get your bag. So it's like an
I've
entirely
noticed
different play
that-
style.
Yeah,
That
I
fits a
noticed
lot
that.
better.
I actually, I thoroughly enjoy that because I do not subscribe to that way of playing where you just one-shot everything. I actually try to avoid that if possible. One of the things that, like, one of the things that draws me into RPGs in general is how can I put this? But like, I don't want to say the epicness. That's not really like what I'm looking for. But like, you know, just having those drawn out battles where you got to really, you know, like you said, manage your resources and you got to use your wits and everything. And it's a battle that you can get the most. I'm having a really tough time
it
describing this
requires
right
more
now,
of
but-
you. Is that what you mean? Like, or
Yeah. You know,
You wanna
just,
It's more
have a
fulfilling.
challenge.
It's a more
yeah,
fulfilling
more
challenge.
fulfilling. Yeah, there we go. Like I don't like doing the one shot thing. That's actually one of the reasons why I usually tend to play by myself. Because a lot of the times the people that tend to, you know, like come find you are those kinds of individuals. So like I'm just, you know, I usually stay to myself and for that reason. But yeah, no, like I definitely enjoy this style of Diablo where you have to be a lot more mindful of your resources, and there are things that you could probably one shot and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But when it comes to the overall level of play, like definitely have to be a lot more methodical. There we go. There's the word I was looking for. I like a more methodical kind of approach
100%.
when it comes to the gameplay and everything else.
All right, so y'all, for the most part, this is all y'all's first Diablo, right? Like, okay. So have y'all ever played ARPGs before? Have you guys played this style of game before?
Yeah, just not from the top-down perspective. So, like, I played Marvel's Avengers, I played The Division, Warframe. Like, I'm a huge like action RPG like fan. Like, I just love that style of I love that style of RPG. Like I said, you know, I'm not very much into the turn-based kind of stuff anymore. But as far as like, I guess the traditional structure of having like dungeons and raids and stuff like that, yeah, this would probably be my first one.
Yeah, so,
yeah, go ahead.
so the ARPG genre is expansive. It encapsulates a lot of node genres, a lot of different, you know, subgenres of that style. You know, you have character actions, you have generic actions, traditional actions, And I would say Diablo has always been one of the traditional ARPGs. You know, it's right up there with you know, how Fallout sort of like defines its genre as well. And the question I have, and as a follow up, is out of those mechanics that can differentiate between ARPGs, you know, like character actions, their whole thing is you're playing as a specific individual who has specific powers, and you're leveling up those specific powers. Or you have like the traditional style where you pick from a slew of body types, character types, and you build up with some ingenuity, some, you know, differentiation, but for the most part you're playing an archetype. You know, you have all
So like DC Universe kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if anybody has ever played the City Heroes.
City of Heroes.
City of Heroes.
Yeah.
City of Heroes is like one of the first ones to like really allow you to get into the model of a character type, you know, and really build around a character type, not just a free building system. And so my question is, what is y'all's favorite foray into those no genres?
I'm not ready yet.
Because for me, I'm a Devil May Cry player. I love Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is a franchise that I think is timeless, has brought about a huge differentiation in the genre of character action. You know, you have Bayonetta, you have the branch games of like, you know, Resident Evil. Devil May Cry was originally a Resident Evil game. You have stuff like that, and it's like those games were meant to instill a feeling when you're playing them in you of a individual who can deal with anything, but with a set moveset. So, you know.
Yeah.
I need time to prepare.
I definitely like a bit of freedom when it comes to my action RPGs. So, but you know, I like only like I don't need like complete open freedom, because the way that my brain works, if I have there is definitely a thing for me where I have maybe too many choices, and that can definitely lead to me being
That's
frozen.
entirely possible. Yeah.
Yeah, being frozen in my in the discovery phase of the title and whatnot, because I'm not really sure where I should go, and there's all these different things that I like to try. So I would say just kind of having freedom within a set structure. So kind of like Warframe, for example, where you have these suits, these frames, these archetypes, if you will, and you build within that archetype. So there's a lot of different ways you can go. And there are particular details where you can really get creative for the case of Warframe, your weapons. So the frame is the frame, but you have all these different weapons to choose from, you know, from your ARs to your submachine guns to katanas and scythes and scythes and warhammers and all these different aspects that you can take advantage of. And then you can get even deeper where you have different stances for the weapons, and there's that level of creativity, like what Mal was saying about, you know, being that individual that can take care of handle anything, you know, like the power fantasy, if you will. You know, yep. I love a title that does a great job of executing that. Speaking again to Marvel's Avengers, I genuinely felt like I was an Avenger when I played the game. Like when I played the Hulk, I destroyed everything. You know, when I played Captain America, I was throwing that shield, and that shield was clapping. For me, when it comes to my action RPGs, I prefer archetypes because it allows me to just jump right in. And not to mention, in terms of like balancing, I feel like if you open the playing field too much, then you get into that realm where everybody's just OP, right? Everybody's one-shotting everything. And I feel like that homogenizes the gameplay to the point where it's not really fun, at least for me at that point. It's a very, you know, mundane experience because you walk in, everything dies in 2 seconds, you walk out. And like I was saying before, like that's not very fulfilling to me.
It's less about how are you going to deal with the challenges in this room and more about what are you going to use to one-shot everything.
Exactly. You know, again, it's a very homogenized experience, not one that I enjoy. I like to be able to try different things, and I like when the game forces me to try different things because that's part of the challenge for me, you know. I don't want a one-size-fits-all solution, or more so, like, I would like to try to find one, but I like the game to try to keep that away from me as much as possible. Because, of course, you know, I'm a gamer. I want to try to find the broke shit, but, you know, like, it's on the devs, it's on the creators themselves to make it to where we can't, you know, attain that. It's like the fight for perfection is endless because perfection doesn't actually exist, and it's the journey that is the fulfilling part, right? Not the achievement itself. And that's the way I look at gaming in general.
The fantasy that most appeals to me about games is the immersive factor of being able to create my own character within that world and be able to live amongst like legendary characters or live amongst powerful characters and be a powerful character in my own right. I've said this before that the Mass Effect completely rewired my brain when it comes to games. Safe flight, KJ. Mass Effect completely changed my whole perspective on games and what I want from video games, because the experience of me being Commander Shepard and making the character look the way I wanted to, making it look me, and feeling like that's me. I'm in this world. I'm building relationships with these characters. That's me. Now, in almost every game I play, if I don't have that, it's been hard for me to actually get into games. Like, I haven't been able to get into RPGs lately that don't have that, like playing as a preset character. It's become hard for me. And I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if this is just a phenomenon I've experienced and I'm just weird, but I have a hard time connecting with characters in some games now if it's not me. If it's not me, it's just me. I don't know. Anybody else in chat?
I completely agree. That's something that I always think about myself, because I want a game to be released where I'm able to create a character that looks like me, has my own story. Even if it doesn't look exactly like me, I can still create a character that, at least from the customizations that are given, that looks like me. Yeah. And, you know, it's all my accomplishments. It shows everything I've done. The Kai defeated bosses and stuff like that. Like, I want to feel like, oh, I understand exactly what you're saying, because that's the exact feeling that I have. Like, it's like for The Witcher. The Witcher's cool. I did play The Witcher, but if I had the opportunity to create my character, I would have liked it even better.
Oh, can you imagine? Like the I enjoyed The Witcher still, like even The Witcher, what I just said, like playing as Geralt. But I will say, like, yeah, can you imagine like a game like that, as open and as huge and as immersive as that story was, but you get to create your Witcher from the ground up, make them look and sound however you want, and make decisions. Like, I can't even imagine how much even more I would have enjoyed that game if I got to make that character.
If the game wants me to enjoy spending time in their immersive world, you have to let me enjoy walking at my character, walk through the world.
Yeah, to immerse myself in your game. Exactly that.
What is the cow level? I've heard this in other places. What is the cow level?
The cow level?
This cow level?
I have not heard that term before. Yeah, I just looked it up. That's hilarious.
So there's a whole context. There's a whole layer of context here to this.
I'm bringing in our ally. What's up, Wes? How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Okay, just lay it on us. What is this?
So it was elusive. It was really hard to figure out back in the day, and the running joke was there is no cow level because they would like try and hide it and keep it from us. But they hid it in the game. What you had to do was you had to go to a town that was in the game and kill a very specific dude, and he always dropped his leg. And it was an item, a one-socket club that did nothing. But if you put it in the Herodric Cube with a full tome of town portals and transmuted it while you were in the Act 1 like home city, then it opened a portal to the cow level. So you would have people join up for get 8 people together, open up a cow level portal, and you go in and it's all cows, literal cows with like cowbells on, standing on their hind legs with either like huge swords or halberds, just walking around in gigantic slow moving mobs. And the sound was probably the best part of it, because it was just a bunch of people making cow sounds, So you're walking around and it's literally just people going moo, 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 moo. And in one part of this giant flat farm level, there was a cow king. And the cow king
Sounds
is
amazing.
lightning enchanted. So when you hit him, he shoots lightning everywhere. So you can see where he is. And it became this whole big risky thing. Because if somebody killed your cow king, you could never make cow levels again on that character. So it would so if you ran the cow level with untrustworthy people and they killed your cow king, you could never be the creator of a cow level again, and you always had to be a follower from then on. It was really wild.
That sounds extremely toxic. It's
Yeah.
a race to kill the cow king. And
Yeah,
then
there
you
was-
got subterfuge. And, oh my gosh.
Definitely people that did it that way. But that was my quick explainer of the cow level. There are already people who have done PhDs worth of research on this game, on how the cow level comes together. They've got Discords for it. They've got Reddit threads going for it. So people are trying their best to figure out where the cow level is in this game. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be fun. But I'm going to take off, and y'all have a good rest of the stream.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
that's-
god.
Thank you for
Thank you for that explanation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a very interesting tidbit there. Holy crap. The cow level. Okay.
So yeah, let's talk about being Black content creators. It's Juneteenth, so I want to talk about this. We all kind of, I think, have had different paths to this, and maybe started at different times. But I wanted to start, I guess, at least started off by saying, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, I would love to see Twitch in particular, that's where we stream, do more for us. I guess in the same, like, promote us and all that, but just, less performative shit. I go back to like last year when I did the Black Brilliance campaign, which was when they literally sent out surveys, or they sent out invites to be able to participate in this, to be able to be included in. I love the phrase shelf, just like a shelf of Black people on the front page of Twitch, which wasn't even, by the way, like at the top. It was like you had to scroll a little bit to see the Black shelf. And it did lead to me meeting some people that I didn't know, but then in having to deal with a lot of the bullshit in terms of like hate raids, which I have experienced, just not feeling like we are as visible on this platform as I would like to see. But I do want to know, like, what has the experience been like for you guys? Have you guys dealt with anything? Have you guys felt like, hey, I want to grow, I want to get noticed, but I feel like there's nothing being done for me specifically as a Black dude?
So I can definitely lead the conversation on this, but I will admit I have some rather critical takes when it comes to how Black people can be uplifted in the space of not just like content creation, but in gaming in general. For those of you that do not know me, I am what you would call a leader of the free world, aka a freedom fighter. I am based out of Ohio, and I have led marches. I have organized them. I have worked in the community building space to the degree that I actively talk to my local representatives to influence policy change, which has been done. And you can look that up. One of the
it's
biggest
going
things
good.
that we could do
Nice
to
day.
improve the visibility of Black people in this space is to also be more honest about what that looks like. Because I feel that when it comes to the gaming space in general, the plights of individuals only really matter when it's your fave. And I don't want to sit here and like point fingers or name names, because there's a lot of different angles when it comes to that. But something that I have seen as a constant, in my opinion, when it comes to rectifying wrongs or just building a stronger presence for the marginalized groups and individuals in the gaming space, is that no one really gives a shit unless someone can gain from it.
Yep.
If someone feels like they can get closer to being somebody by being on your team, then people are a
Hey,
lot
good to
more
hear.
likely
I'm
to
glad
go
that
hard for
he's
you.
doing well too.
But if you're just
we're in the middle of
a
our
person
celebrating
who is
of
just,
June
just a regular
10th with
person
some Diablo
and
4
you're just
and
out
talking to other
here
Black
operating in
creators.
the
So
space,
I apologize
'cause
for not
I
actively
rock with
paying
a lot of
attention to
people
comments at the moment.
that are dealing
But
with demons
do know
on a
that
daily
you
basis. They are
listening
dealing
in
with
and watching in
struggles and issues that are
means a lot to me.
lead
So
to
thank you very much for tuning in.
dehumanizing,
And I'll have to tell
scenarios.
Mike, thank you for the
But
recommendation.
they feel like they're alone oftentimes because no one is speaking for them on their behalf, and they got to deal with a lot of bullshit on their own. And then like oftentimes it leads to them having a rather jaded perspective when it comes to these kinds of issues, because it's like, they only give a fuck because it's so and so whatever, and that's usually how it goes. And I feel like that's a very fair perspective to have, because again, you only really see attention drawn to these kinds of things when it's your fave, right? So, not saying that this person is part of the problem. I'm just using this individual as an example, like just as an anecdote to illustrate my point. So, when it comes to, I guess, supporting Black voices, like in the space, which Black voice are you more likely to support? Are you willing to support? Are you more likely to support, say, and I'm sorry, Ken, I'm just doing this just to illustrate a point. I'm not trying to shit on you or nothing. Like, would you be more likely to support Ken's voice, or would you be more likely to support K Sanat's voice, or someone else that is a lot larger in that space, right? Like, again, in this day and age, social media has become, in a lot of ways, in a lot of instances, a way of life for people. A lot of their thought process is rooted in how other people on social media think, which is where you get all these instances of people, doing like the prank videos and stuff, and doing things that obviously wouldn't really be considered, like, not even by pranking standards, like normal, and then like they get in trouble, they go to jail, or even worse, right? And it's like, whoa, I saw this on social media and I thought it would be funny. Like, no, a lot of the stuff that you think would be funny on social media isn't really funny or even acceptable by by normal standards, because a lot of the people that you see on social media aren't even the majority.
Nope.
They're just a very isolated, loud group of people.
Very visible.
Yeah, very visible.
A loud minority.
Yeah, exactly. So to you, it might seem like they're the majority there, and a lot of people will take that they'll take it too far. But yeah, I feel like one of the biggest issues that we've had when it comes to uplifting Black voices in the community is that we do not do a lot of work ourselves to uplift our Black voices in the community. Oftentimes you'll sit there and you'll see people talk about uplifting Black voices, and they'll speak on the larger Black voices, but in regards to that, it has to be available for all Black voices, not just, the typical personalities that you're used to seeing. That's one of the reasons why I've been rocking with community. Shout out to the Big Creator Program, you know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to open up the playing field for everybody, not just your faves, not just the people with hundreds of thousands of viewers on the regular that would make the front page without, the special events and things of that nature. Like, they're trying to open up the playing field for everybody, and I feel like to achieve true equality, you have to do that. And until you make your peace with that, until you make a conscious effort to dedicate yourself to that, then if you're not part of the problem, you're definitely not helping the problem as much as you think you would. That's my take on it. So, like, I have more to offer, but like, just my initial point is that I feel that Black people in general, like Black content creators, could do more in terms of uplifting their voices. And some people might hear that and be like, what do you mean do more? I do plenty. And it's like, yeah, but who do you do it for? Why do you do it? And then not only that, what impact do you have? In relation to your work when it comes to the steps that you're taking to uplift those voices. Another example that I'll use is like charity work, for example, right? Now, obviously, charity is a touchy subject because all charity is good charity, right? That is incorrect, because you have plenty of companies that do quote-unquote charity work, and the companies themselves are problematic, and their motivations for doing the charity work in the first place are also problematic.
You always got to do research, like
Exactly, right? And then not only that, you know, as a person who has suffered at the hands of a lot of these like issues that people do charities for, you know, like I have not one but two parents that are suffering from cancer. One of them passed, right? The other one's dealing with it right now, and the breast cancer awareness fund didn't do a fucking thing for me, you know. But I can tell you that in what I've done in my personal work that has direct impact, a direct tangible impact, and that's, for example, when I was donating and promoting mutual aid funds. You know, like when the murder of George Floyd happened, right? And there was a high intensity level, an extreme level of intensity across the country, with a lot of protests going on, riots, even, and things of that nature, and people needed supplies immediately. Again, it's about what kind of impact you have in your work. Sure, you can contribute to the larger, more well-known charities, right? And maybe that money or that aid gets funneled down to the parties that need it, which is why I actually do not really support donating to the Black Lives Matter organization, because I feel like they are one of those people, again, where like their motivations and their methods are not really truly conducive to the uplifting of the Black community as a whole. More importantly, to the working class Black community, because you could be out here on social media saying fight the power and all that stuff, but what is the person who is out there in the hood with internet that's not even good enough to even watch the fucking YouTube video? What are you doing for that person? Which is actually one of the more important people, because those are the individuals whose backs we step on when we're quote unquote uplifting ourselves and our faves. It's on the backs of those who come into our streams or our YouTubes, who spend their hard-earned dollars to support our content, to give us the luxury, right, to even do this shit in the first place. You cannot forget about
this kind of visibility.
Exactly. Like me even having this conversation with you, me being on this very expensive PC, which was paid in part by my community, who dedicates their free hard-earned time to watch me, to frequent my content, you know, to support what I'm doing, even when they're dealing with their own struggles and stuff like that. You know, when I look at West Sissa, thanks so much for the follow. But when I look at, also thank you so much, Murder Muffin, for the follow earlier. I saw you earlier, I didn't say anything. But when I look at the kind of impact that I want my work to have, I need it to be tangible and I need it to be immediate. So, you know, when it comes to you know, what we could do to further establish and uplift our space within the community, I feel like, for example, like Community's model is a really good step in the right direction. Essentially, using our sphere of influence to bring forth those that we might have, to uplift those that, you know, are not in the positions that we are. You know what I mean? To use that sphere of influence to bring up everybody else. It's like when I did my dev boot camp or whatever, right? One of the things that they told us at our graduation was like, look, above all else, above learning the techniques and the languages and all this other cool stuff, right? And getting your big dev paying job, above all else, right? The most important thing that you could do in this space is to take somebody else with you. You know, take your sphere of influence and utilize that to uplift those that are struggling, right? That who are experiencing lesser known struggles, because again, you know, we got to talk more. We got to talk about more than just our faves here, right? And bringing those people along so that way they can do the same And then at that point, then you're building that network, that strong network, right? Because we're like, we get so caught up in visiting a lot of the same individuals that we forget about the rest of those that actually help those other individuals get to their positions in the first place. So like for us, yeah, I think the biggest thing that we could do is take more effort to use our collective spheres of influence to not only uplift our faves that are already in established positions, but also reach out and grab those that are not in established positions and bring them forth to their own established positions so our network is stronger. Because one of the things I'll tell you about streamers on the other side, right, is that they support their shit and they support all of it.
Yep.
For better or for worse, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
they be in there, and let's you know, think about it, right? It's there's so many other instances of that occurring. It's like for better or for worse, they are there and they are loud about it. We don't really.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's funny why you mentioned that, because this is partially like my motivation for why I wanted to do this today, is because I'm just gonna say it, like I'm just gonna kind of like mince words or whatever. So with a game like this, right, Diablo, and I literally went through the category, I went through the black tags. I wanted to see like how many of us were actually streaming this game and like creating content and trying to build a community around this game. And when I'm on YouTube, all I ever see is I see white faces, white guys, right?
Yep.
That are in there, and they're coming together. They're doing podcasts. They're doing this, that, the other, and are the faces of this game. And there's no disrespect to them as creators, right? There's like no shade on them. But what I'm saying is, what I wanted to do today was like, if we are gonna ever succeed or grow or do what we want to do with our individual voices, like we have to come together, and no one's gonna make that happen. We have to do it together. And I wasn't interested in just trying to ping like, oh, go find the biggest black creator I can find. Like, no, I want to bring people. I'm glad that I met you today. If the only thing that came out of today was educating someone who didn't know what Juneteenth was, like literally just showing them a video that, oh shit, I didn't know it was actually a day, right? A, and B, meeting you guys. Like meeting you guys and building a relationship with you guys that can make an impact down the road, then I will have called today a success.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, that's why I use the word fellowship. It's important for us to come together. Especially on a day like this, because they are, right? Like
Right.
they're always together. They're always collaborating, doing things together to build their own platforms, to build their own voices. We have to do the same, because like you said, no one's gonna do it for us.
Yep.
No one's gonna do it for us. Like we have to take initiative. And so I'm trying to be better in that regard, which is why I wanted to do this today. But I feel like I want this to just be the start of taking action. And it can't just be a thing, because this is the thing. This can't be a thing where you just do it because the calendar says it's February. That's a whole other issue right there.
I'm black every day of the year.
Exactly.
And I've grown tired of that's why, like, someone asked me the other day in private, like, am I going to do anything for Pride Month? And I'm like, no, because I'm going to probably do something in July. Because fuck y'all. Like, I'm not going to be dictated by the calendar. Like, we did a charity event for the Trevor Project in July of last year, and I kind of want to make that a thing. Like, July 1st, when everybody takes down their Pride flags and their Pride avatars, that's when we're going to celebrate and support people. Because I'm tired of like just the calendar dictating when we do things, because that's what the corporate calendar says. Like, oh, it's Asian Heritage Month. All right, pull it all out. Like
That has always been my thought. Do everything, even something so simple as, say, a Valentine's Day for your significant other. Oh, you wait till a specific day to appreciate something. Yeah, instead of just doing it year round.
If you
It's
truly
supposed to be
care,
year round.
you shouldn't need a specific somebody to tell you a specific day to do something.
No,
Yeah,
my dad told me that at dinner the other day. I was like I don't need anything for Father's Day, because like every week, every month, when I get to see you is Father's Day for me, because we share that relationship, we share that bond, and it's strong. And I don't let I'm not gonna shower you with gifts because today's the day, right? That's where we have to be better. And again, we have
Hey,
to,
Mike,
like,
welcome
they're
in.
not. They're gonna stick to their.
Hope you're having a great one.
philosophy Of, okay, it's February. This is the month. We got it. Okay, Black People Month. Let's do it. You know what I mean? No.
And then, not to mention, that's kind of the caveat with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday, right? And
Exactly.
think about that particular aspect for sure, because for those of you that are just now learning about Juneteenth,
Yes, sir. Thank you
also
for the
recognize
recommendation. It was good to see some new
issue
people in
with
chat.
Juneteenth not being a nationally recognized federal holiday until literally just now, right? Until this year. Like, this is the first year that we've actually been able to recognize Juneteenth as a federal holiday, and which is even more hilarious in my opinion, because Juneteenth isn't even limited to one particular day. It really lasts through a constant period, because Juneteenth wasn't even a single day, hence the term Juneteenth, because the way it worked was that because of the limitations of like delivery or like mail services or whatever you wanted to call it and everything like that, not to mention just the sheer like
It's going well.
coolness
Apologize if I
of,
can't
people
answer
back in those
your
times.
messages
The
immediately.
news-
Yeah.
I'm
the
in the middle,
news
as you can
that,
see, we're in the middle of an event
slaves
going
were
on right now,
emancipated, didn't
just to
even
celebrate
reach,
the day and the
certain
time.
regions.
Once again, I apologize if I'm not keeping up to chat so fast.
Like Juneteenth for you might have been in September. It's just one of those kinds of deals. And then to speak towards the amount of time it took for that particular section to be recognized as a federal holiday, it's like, again, it speaks towards the just where we stand. And I hate using this term, but for lack of a better term, like where we stand on the totem pole, so to speak. Just whenever it comes to Black people, the chains move the slowest. I don't want to say that like that's a football reference, but like the progress moves the slowest, because when like Asian hate crimes started to ramp up, right, and when all that was happening, there were measures that were getting passed into law literally within the next month.
Yup.
I have an article that actually speaks on that. I need to look it back up, but literally from the past 3 years, right, when or the past 3 years, when you had the Stop Asian Hate campaigns going on and they were everywhere, that only took a couple of months to set up and to get the word out and to enforce. Like, the enforcement is the most important part.
And to be clear, we're not saying that that's a bad thing. That should be the case, but it should be the case forever.
It should be a universal ordeal. Exactly. So, you think about how our representatives were able to get things moving within months of this one particular incident going on, right? This particular group of people being attacked and reacted to in a very negative sense. It leads you to question why it took so long for them to get like that for Black people. And then, of course, when it comes to Twitch, or Twitch specifically, when it comes to how they handle moderation in terms of hate raids and all that kind of stuff, just when you think about it, the amount of time that it took for them to actually get to this point, and it's not a new phenomenon, in the slightest. It's definitely something that has continued to plague, that has constantly plagued people of color, Black people specifically, all the time. You get people coming into chats calling us all kinds of words and starting all kinds of shit, without
it's almost as if they're just numb to it at this point.
Let's be real here, right? Twitch implementing their new systems with dealing with hate raids, right? That came after someone else already did it. There was a bot that someone else did on their own free time, and I know this because a lot of Black creators were using it. Big Cheese, K Swiftly, a lot of individuals that I was following, they would use this bot and I think it was called the Posada bot or something like that. And it was really good at shutting a lot of that shit down. But that bot got put out months before Twitch even got to like a beta version of their systems, where they were essentially like trying to shut down like the hate rating and all that kind of stuff, you know. So again, yeah, exactly. Again, you got to question these things, and you got to really think about just how much do they really care, which is why I was speaking about earlier in terms of where we got to band together. We got to lift our own selves up, because we can't wait on this white dominated networks, plural, because let's be real, we're not the majority in any of these major spaces. Like, the only content creation platform that I've seen that has even probably been closely more aligned with the wants and needs and desires of Black people has been Caffeine. But they're limited in their sphere of influence themselves. But when you talk about Twitch and YouTube and all these other spaces, right, Black people are not the priority, except for February, you know. But we can change that, because now more than ever we have way more collective bargaining power if we actively learn to use it. Like, if we actually band together to use it, and that's the key there. We have to really actually coordinate on that. You know, it's not just like just snap of the finger, like, all right, everybody, let's do it. Like, you have to genuinely, like, there has to be like a meeting of the minds, so to speak, to get that ball rolling for sure.
No, like in anything, it requires an effort, but we have to make that happen. So Malkuvius, like, for you, what ultimately would you say is like your, like, again, fundamental goal with what you're trying to do right now that you would like to see realized by the end of this year?
Yeah, so for me, it's I started streaming. I haven't been streaming for a year yet. I'm only 8 months into streaming, but the original goal I had planned, and it's probably still my all-time goal, was just to build a community. You know, I like to play games. I know people like to play games. I know people like to talk about specific things. I have things I like to talk about. You know, I wanted to find like-minded individuals, you know, that were like me and looked like me, you know, that shared similar, you know, mindsets. And I would say that's still my goal, is to have like to at least get the rudimentary foundations of a community together.
Yeah, and building that, yeah, and that's yeah. Like I said, you're still pretty, you know, in like the early stages of it. And again, we're kind of in the same place, despite the fact I, you know, been doing it a little longer. But yeah, that building of like an actual living, breathing organism. It's not just about, again, playing video games and calling it a day. Like, people that are, I'm looking at you guys right now in chat, like Unstrong, Patrick, what Hero, all you guys. Like, and I always say this, like, I'm always grateful for it. I don't give a shit what my viewership is. Like, I care about y'all as people, because you are literally here right now. Yep. You're literally taking time out of your day to come and listen to the shit that I'm saying. And so, like, that means a lot to me, especially given, again, I took months away. That means a lot that you guys decided, oh, this dude's back. Let me go ahead and see what he's got going on, and talk to him and see what's up there. And that means the world to me. And I want to be able to give back to y'all and provide y'all a place and a space where you can feel comfortable. Like, you know, we've had people literally come out here because they felt comfortable to do that, where they never felt comfortable doing that. And that the things like that is why I stream. And so, like, the capital C community is like everything to me. And because at the end of the day, it's about people. I have a passion for people, and I want to do the best that I can to uplift people and uplift myself through that. Momkai, I mean, I know, like I said, I think you're pretty new as a streamer, right? I mean, what are you like? What's kind of like the goal, the milestone, the thing that you would like to be able to achieve here?
Of course, for me, yes, I'm pretty new. I've always wanted to stream. Finally, I'm able to, and was able to afford a good PC that's able to run these games. But really, the goal that I've always wanted was to, like what was said earlier, to create a community, create a space so people can come, play a game with me together, play together, join me, do whatever, and just kind of create yeah, like a safe space, and just people that are kind of like, hey, yeah, you're black, I'm black. Instead of just watching, let's say, for example, a white streamer or Kai Cenat, if you want to watch someone black,
Those are
there's
the
other
options,
people
right?
out there,
Those are the options.
right? Yeah, those are the only options. I want to create a place like, look, I'm a super nerd. I like everything, right? I play all types of games. I play, yeah, like I said, Destiny. Of course, I play Diablo. I play Final Fantasy 14. I play all types of games. So why not have a space that I can provide so other people can join that and just kind of be a part of it, and we can kind of create a nice, inviting, inclusive, and community where anyone is able to join. You know, and that's something. And of course, the main goal is to grow, also. But you know, at the same time, I want to have fun and just kind of create something with everyone.
And when you say grow, it's not, I mean, and I don't want to speak for you, it's not just about like wanting to have a shit ton of people because I want to be famous. It's also, it's really, for me, I don't know about you, it's about reach. Like, I never ever want to be some giant streamer person, right? Because like I don't need them kind of problems. Like because more exposure means more criticism means more bullshit, and I don't want
Exactly.
that, right? Like there's a sweet spot somewhere in the middle that you want that I would prefer to occupy. But I've been gone for 5 months, and all I came back to do was to fulfill a lot of the things that I really haven't fulfilled as a creator, which is to fully create like a truly inclusive, awesome community that uplifts and supports people. And I mean that in not just like flowery terms, but like real, like doing real things, and which is why I wanted to come in here today with these gentlemen right here. Well, it was to start building some relationships with some cool people and some cool like-minded people on this of all days.
Though, because
Yeah, I think that's a good time for me to peace out as well. I'll be throwing my viewers over to you as well, so just to keep the train rolling.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for spending some time hanging out with us. You know, it was honestly, he sent me that message yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, you want to do a thing?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And
Right.
I'm glad that I did agree to that, because it's been, not only has it been informal, I feel like we've really come to a conclusion, like a connect and a understanding, and on not just the topics of the game, but you know, as Black creators and as content creators in this scope. But I'm just looking forward to hopefully whatever he's got planned, and hopefully taking part in
Yeah,
getting those
absolutely.
done as
'cause-
well. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It's been a joy, not only meeting a whole bunch of new people, but having a time to talk about not just the game, obviously, but the space that we live in, the current world, the current political climate, just all of these day-to-day things. It was nice to have a conversation with like-minded individuals on that, and to have you guys come in here and support us and show your love for not just me, but for the community as a whole, means so much to me. So I will be live again tomorrow. We're not gonna have our normal evening stream tonight. I'm gonna take the rest of the day off. But I hope you all have a great time spending some nice time talking to the armory, which we are going to raid out to right now. So go ahead and show them some love. Let them know what it's like to get raided by those from the pyre. And I will see you all tomorrow at 6:30 usual time. Peace.